Welcome to part 2 of the Spongebob movie game, and now we are introduced to one of the other gameplay styles, those that's, well, exclusive to, well, I shouldn't say exclusive, but, you'll know what I mean. But we are now driving. In some stages, you'll have to drive the paddy wagon and through a crash course. There's that, well, can even put Mrs. Nah, that's a bad reference. Anyway, if you played any, driving game, and you hold down the X button to accelerate, and you use the left stick to move. What I'm collecting, besides the weights, are the nitros. If you have at least one, you can press the R1 button to give you a short burst of speed, and as you saw right there, a lot of things are going to slow you down, like this grass. And later on, finding the treasure chests, sometimes you're going to have to go out of your way. You need to find them, and with multiple routes. You can't upgrade the car's health. Also, three hits, and you have to start over. And, I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm sorry if this is taking a long time. I'm having issues. This with the, audio, like the narration. I don't know what exactly is causing this. Oh, the upgrade. Yeah, I don't know what's causing that. Maybe something I downloaded, something, whatever. Well, whatever it is, something is messing with the video. Well, hopefully this works, because I don't want to have to like re-record this part again just for the narration. So again, apologies if this is taking a long time for it to upload. But I'm just having rather technical difficulties. With these kind of missions and another gameplay style, we're actually gonna have 5 missions. And the first mission is basically get to the end of the level. It's the one we're doing right now. The second one is beat the level under a certain time limit. The third level is basically rings. Like, you actually have to go through yellow rings. Yeah, that's a pretty cool trick I did. Unintentional, but whatever. And the fourth mission is basically, it's macho time trial. It's the same thing, only under a much shorter time period. All I can say for the time trials, if you see a boost, use it. When you pick it up, use it. Yeah, at least on a straightaway. Like, you don't want to use it on a turn, because your turning is a bit more stiff. The thing with these rings, though, or actually, no, I'm not gonna mention the rings. But, as for the other missions, I am gonna be showing them. Well, the time trials, I'm gonna show them once, because you're basically going through the same stage, only under a time limit. There's really nothing different in terms of level design. The rings, however, I will be showing off. It's practically the same stage, but because there's many different routes you can take with these driving stages, then I think it's something worth showing off, at least used for the whole playthrough. But that is it for the first driving stage, and now we are heading into the third stage, which is 3,000 miles to Shell City. And this is where you actually start doing something. Like, this is where you actually start getting into the core gameplay. No cheese and I'm ready depression were they were pretty much warm-up levels. This is where you actually start doing stuff. But this is still rather an easy level, I gotta say. But now that we have enough Goofy Goober tokens, we have the bash move, making a return from Battle for Bikini Bottom. Only it's an actual boxing glove. And we can actually upgrade it. In fact, we're going to be upgrading it in this very part. And yeah, that's bash move pretty much works how it did. It obviously. So yeah, like I said, a lot of things are pretty much recycled from Battle for Bikini Bottom. Expect more of that later on. But now we are introduced to a new enemy type, which is pretty much the projectile launchers from the air. As Patrick is demonstrating here, we can't really attack it. But since it's floating up into the air, we really can't attack it head on. So we have to go for the bottom. And the projectiles they shoot, not only will you take damage, but you also slip. You also like slide around. And so you do, in some areas you do not want to get hit by those because you'll just easily careen off into a pit. But as I showed off the correct way to beat them, I also showed off the upgraded spin attack. In fact, I'm going to show it off right here. It basically deflects any attack. It deflects any attack. Heck, with this cool little rainbow streak. Very satisfying. And makes these enemies a joke. And as you may notice, I haven't really upgraded my health. Don't worry, I'm going to be upgrading my health later on. And I might even going to have to do some grinding for experience later on. Because, oh boy, this game gets more difficult. But it's actually possible to get all the Goofy Goober tokens in one single run. And if you know what you're doing. And how you should be doing stuff. But just press that button, the thing explodes, which somehow destroys the tower. Which conveniently makes a bridge for us. Because, hooray for convenience. And I just bashed these boxes for whatever reason. And then we have jellyfish with bucket heads. Okay then. Alright, so now we are going to be progressing. Not now. Because there's actually another gameplay, challenge I should show off. Well, this challenge is basically the Spongebob challenge. This makes a return from Battle for Bikini Bottom. And, well, let's just say that if you didn't like the Spongebob in Battle for Bikini Bottom, then you're gonna absolutely loathe the Spongebob courses in this game. Because it's really the course itself. I mean, it's a bit of your controls because you can't really jump in SpongeBob. All you can do is just roll. And the reason why I stay with stages, this one is not too bad, but honestly, I'm telling you, these SpongeBob courses get brutally difficult later on. I mean, yeah, later on in the game it should get harder, but my god. But yeah, this one isn't really too bad. There's you saw all the obstacles, the breakaway platforms, the fans, and the moving blocks. We're gonna be introduced to more obstacles later on as the SpongeBob courses progress. And now we are continuing with the stage, and that area looks very suspicious. We're gonna be heading to there pretty soon. But yeah, one thing that you notice with this game is that, unlike Battle for Bikini Bottom, the level designs are actually more linear. So this is kind of a mixture here between Banjo-Kazooie and because now, yeah, you're pretty much getting to the end of the level. That's what it is. But there's like no open areas. There's literally one path that you can go down. And yeah, that's Banjo-Kazooie. Well, yeah, the reason why I say it's a mixture of Banjo-Kazooie is because as you're collecting Goofy Goober tokens and treasure chests, it's near identical. Well, and that's how Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom handles it. But I'll talk about that later because that cracked wall is suspicious. Should we hit it? Oh, look, another challenge. And before that, I even upgrade my bash ability to a spiked glove. Oh, I love this thing. But now bungee diving makes a return. Only have to hit the targets. It's instead of just hitting the Goofy Goober token and you instantly win. But just just going back to what I was saying is that one of the things that I actually prefer Battle for Bikini Bottom over SpongeBob movie games, that I mentioned that the level designs are actually a bit more linear, and it kind of lacks in terms of exploration. And you get what I'm saying? Like, there's no multiple pathways. There's no creativity. Well, actually there is creativity. It's just not, you can't use the. It's not as versatile, I should say. If that makes any sense. You know, I'll just get to that later. I actually showed off the spike glove. If you use the spike glove, you can actually, it clings onto the target that it hits, and after a countdown, it detonates. However, you can actually detonate the thing yourself. And when it's in a group of enemies, it's satisfying thing to do. But now we are heading into the last challenge type, which is the floating block challenge. And I'll say this right now, I am convinced that this is inspired by the SpongeBob's Dream level from Battle for Bikini Bottom. I mean, look at the background. The blocks, the background, and that was a nice little fail I just did. But these floating block challenges, it's basically how you gotta put it basically puts your platforming skills to the ultimate test. Well, not to the ultimate test, but it puts them to the test, at least later on. This one is really easy, because obviously it's the first one. It's a good idea to, like, hold down on the camera just to see where you're gonna land. Especially when the blocks are moving. And, well, it kind of screws up your perception. At least for me. If I can give another tip, though. Even though I am doing it, don't bum rush it. Even though you're on a time limit, don't bum rush it. Because in some instances, you're pretty much just asking for trouble. Well, the thing with the time limit, though, it doesn't reset. And, like, it doesn't reset it to the time where you hit it at the last checkpoint. No. It actually pretty much stays how it is. So there's room to mess up, but there's not too much room. And so just be careful what you're doing, and you should be just fine. We are introduced to these blocks that shrink upon contact. If you grab onto them, you might as well be falling down the pit, because by the time Patrick pulls himself back up, the block has already disappeared halfway. But that is it for part 2, and I gotta say, sorry that it took so long, but next time and we meet, we are going to be continuing on with this level. So I'm GameMan5804, and you guys have a great day.